Good morning. This morning I'm heading up a ridge out of Foxtail Canyon. It's July 5th and I'm hoping to camp up there tonight. I've climbed it a few times and always wanted to camp up there, so that's what I'm going to do tonight. Would have rather gone last night to avoid all the noise, but it was pretty windy yesterday and last night, so I decided to put it off a day. And still pretty breezy today, but I think it's supposed to die down. It's actually pretty nice. I'm hiking up through Foxtail Camp right now. I believe this was a Girl Scout camp, but the buildings need apparently millions of dollars in repairs, and now the camp just sits and falls apart even more. Which is okay with me because I love hiking up through here. And I'm not sure I'd be able to do that if there was a Girl Scout camp in here. They do still open the picnic area at the bottom, and I think they do sledding in here in the winter. I've left the old road up through the camp, and I'm hiking up this trail here. It's not a trail that's listed anywhere or named, or I just stumbled on it one day. It's a really nice, well-built little trail. It goes up here behind Pioneer Rock. As you can see, it's not maintained. This is new. This huge ponderosa pine came down on it. And I know there's at least one or two more big trees down on it up ahead, but it's a very well-built, pleasant little trail, and it leads to a really nice little overlook where there's a good camp spot, but I'm gonna head further up the ridge, and I'll share that with you when I get there. I'm gonna take the little side trip here up to Pioneer Rock. Or to the, I think there's a benchmark on this side. It's not what the peak climbers call Pioneer Rock. There's a big face out in front that's more technical, but I think the benchmark's up on this little point. So I'm gonna head up there and show you the views of that. All right, so there is a marker, but it's not a benchmark. And they also have this kind of ridiculous giant sign with it. Eventually I'm going to be up in there. This is Mummy behind here. I'm going to spin around. This ridge over here is Foxy Ridge, where I was last weekend. And that's Lee Peak behind. Here's another down tree on the trail. Unfortunately, the only way around this one is to crawl underneath it. Boy, my knees don't like that. I made it to where the little trail ends, and you can see the great views of the Sisters. That's South, North, and Black Rock Sisters. And then I'm gonna go up here, and this is gonna be all off trail, so it's gonna be a lot steeper and a lot rougher terrain. But I think once you see the views, you'll understand why I'm putting myself through this. Heading up to the left here around this rock to get to the top of the cliff. Okay, here's where I came up through all the wild formations. From the bottom looking up, it looks really rough, but it's really not that bad, especially if you only have a day pack. It's a little trickier with my overnight gear, but still not too bad. Again, view to the sisters. And Mummy up behind here. And I'm gonna continue up this ridgeway. Getting a bit closer. It's right up here. And trust me, this is steeper than it looks on camera. But boy, is this ridge pretty. You can see the ski resort over here. The wilderness boundary sign has fallen over, but here we have another marker and another ridiculous sign. I'm almost to my camp spot. I've hiked a little way, a couple hundred feet up above my camp spot. I was just gonna check in to see if there are any better spots or nicer views, but I think where I'm at is pretty perfect. Now I've hiked all the way up to the big cliffs of Mummy behind here before, and up on top of this one rocky ridge. There's actually a big cairn up there, and the views from up there are utterly spectacular, but it's a difficult climb to get up there. And that's what I'm not gonna do today. Today is for relaxing and painting, and I'm gonna enjoy these views. So I walked a couple hundred feet up the ridge to see if there were any better spots, and I did find a spot that I thought was better. It was softer and flatter and shadier, but the views weren't nearly as good as here. This is the view from my tent to Lee Peak and over Lee Canyon. And I just have to walk a short distance out here to get a really great view of the sisters. But the real reason I wanted to camp up here was for this view of Mummy. This is Mummy's head area. And I'm hoping this will get all lit up at sunset. I don't know if it'll be the right angle, but we'll see. So pretty good view of the Foxy Ridge from up here. If you watch my video from last week, that's where I was, up that ridge. You can see Pioneer Rock down here in the foreground, and then Foxy Ridge is the distant ridge. And you can really get a sense of the cliffs the whole way up it. I'll mark on the video when I edit where I was sitting and painting last week. I'm back to the place where I dropped down through the pinnacles and spires that are up here. This is one of the steeper parts, so I have to be careful going down through here. All right, I'm back to the little trail, so the rest of the way is smooth sailing. There's some fresh deer tracks here that weren't here yesterday. Was really hoping I'd see some coming down through here. I've seen them quite a bit in this canyon. Deer and foxes. All right, well, this time I crawled over it and it was a little tricky, but I found it better than crawling under. My old knees don't like that.